Hello there. This is Richard, and I'm coming at you with another Apple iPad accessory review. I've got a really inexpensive case that I picked up off of eBay, and I wanted to do a quick review on it. I think it's a reasonably good case for the money, and might be something some of you might be interested in. It's kind of hard for me to say the brand because it doesn't really have a brand. It came off of eBay, but I will, when I post this video up online, I'll put information in the video about where you can go to get this. So let's get started. So this case, excuse me, is available on eBay, and the cost on this was $15.95 with free shipping. So about a $16 case, about the cheapest I've seen, especially for a folio or a flip style case like this is. So let's jump right into it. It's made out of, obviously for the price, it's not leather. It is made out of a vinyl material, but it's not too bad. The vinyl feels pretty good. I think it'll wear okay. It's one of those cases where you could afford to buy 2 or 3 of them to throw them away if they start to wear out or they get ripped. It's got a white stitching around the edges, and one of the reasons I bought it, one of the things that appealed to me, is that it has a magnetic closure. It's very similar in style to the PD Air case that some of you may have heard about, that sells for about $50, $50. But this one is, design-wise, is almost identical. So we'll open it up. On the inside is like a felt type material or finish to it. It feels pretty good. The cover is fairly rigid. It feels to me like there's a piece of plastic in here. It's not cardboard, I don't think, and it's got a reasonable amount of protection, kind of similar to the feel of the Apple case and the rigidity of it. It's got 2 magnets. One of them is right here. You can see a small little bump right there, and the other one is right here, a little bump there. And then on the flap there's a magnet here and a magnet right here. And so when you close the case, those 2 magnets come together to keep it shut. It's not super strong. It takes only a light pressure to open it, but you can tell that it's holding on there. So it's just about right where I think that these magnets wouldn't interfere with the GPS or the compass ability in the iPad, especially since it's right along the edge and they're pretty small. It's a side slide-in style, so you put your iPad in this way, and it's held in place by this flap. So let's go ahead and insert the iPad and take a look at the ports and the coverage. So your iPad slides in sideways like that, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the openings around the side. So you've got access to the dock connector speakers with this little piece of leather here in the middle, and then we turn around this way, we've got a flap here, and so you've easily got access to the volume control orientation lock. And then on the top we've got a flap there again, and you've got access to the power switch, headphone jack, microphone, and then this is the side here where the spine is, and this edges of the iPad are just showing just a little bit there. It feels good. It's really slim. It's about as slim as the Apple iPad case. It's really close to being that same size-wise, so it feels good. It feels like it's got some sturdiness to it. Let's go ahead and open it up. So the only drawback, if there was one that I can think of about the case, is just that there's nothing holding it from sliding out on the side here. Same problem that the in-case has, the one that they sell at the Apple store that's leather, has the same problem, and I think there are some other cases like this that it's just open on the side. What's okay about this, as opposed to like the Marware Echo View, is at least when the case is shut like this, there's no way the iPad's going to slide out because you've got your spine here. Whereas with the Marware case, since it opens here at the top, there is that possibility that your iPad could slide out. So when you're carrying this, there's just no way that it's going anywhere. It's totally boxed in by the edges. So when you open it, there is that possibility that if we turn it sideways and we kind of start to slide it a little bit, that it'll come out. But fairly minor problem. If you can live with that, it's not a big deal. At least it's not going anywhere when you're carrying it. It closes nice. It lines up along the edges here perfectly. The magnets are doing their job. They're keeping the flap from coming out, from coming up, and the spine is pretty good. It feels like it's got some. It's going to wear fairly well, I think. And you can turn it around backwards, and you get a little bit of a rise there just from the width of both of these pieces being together and the space of the material there. So when you set it down, you've got a slight angle. Nothing, of course, like the Apple case, but you do have a slight angle. And if you're holding it, one of the things that I do like about the case is that this back flap isn't slipping slipping around. It stays pretty firm on the back, and so it feels good when you're holding it. And as I mentioned when I started, for $16, it's not a bad case. It's actually a pretty good deal, I think. So something to keep in mind for those of you who might be looking for an inexpensive alternative to protect your iPad, something that looks decent. I mean, at first glance, nobody's going to know that this isn't really leather, because it certainly looks like leather. So I highly recommend the case for those of you on a tight budget. If you want to spend more, obviously you can get the PD Air case, which is, I think, identical to this, except that it's made out of leather. It looks to me like they copied that case with this one pretty closely, and it's not a bad deal. So this is Richard with another review of an iPad accessory, and we'll see you next time.